concept 3 Kriya Yoga by Dr. Abhijit Reddy. Let's welcome him.
Sahana Vavatu Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Avidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen Omkar, we have seen attitude development, the two sutras which are related to attitude development, and now on Kriya Yoga. Here, Patanjali places it very nicely. Kriya Yoga is placed in the chapter 2 of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and it comes as the first verse saying Tapasvadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. Now the second chapter is named Sadhana Pada. This I have put it purposefully in this manner because I want to stress upon the point that how scientific these people were even at that time. Patanjali, by writing his 4 paths, initially in the first chapter, he gives us the final goals which have to be achieved. He tells us the Samadhi paths, and then he comes to the Sadhana path, that is the second chapter, wherein he describes the instruments and utilities that have to be used to achieve that goal of Samadhi. So as in an experiment, we usually write the aim of the experiment, and then we write the instrument, and then the procedures, and finally the conclusions and results come. So similarly the pattern has been arranged even in the sutras, and this is not only seen in Patanjali but in various other ancient texts also. So we mainly hear about Ashtanga Yoga. Whenever we hear about yoga, always there is a word called Ashtanga Yoga comes, and then we know that Ashtanga Yoga has some 8 limbs, that is Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, and Samadhi. But then what is Kriya Yoga? Is it something different? Has Patanjali told many different ways? Yes, Patanjali has of course offered many varieties to go into. But his main things are Ashtanga Yoga, which is the basic concept what Patanjali puts in. And just prior to it, just before Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga comes in middle of the second chapter, while Kriya Yoga comes at the offset of the second chapter. This is only because, as in usual fashion, we are not used to yoga as such. And as it is now, it was the same in those days also. So, just to initiate directly with Ashtanga Yoga, it would not be easy, because saying the names of the Ashtangas, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Samadhi, is an easy thing. Understanding the things is a bit difficult, but bringing them into practice is a quite a difficult task. So what he did is that, as we have some, initially before a good batsman starts his batting, he plays some practice balls. So initially to make some practices and make us used to some systems, he has introduced what is called as Kriya. Okay? Curve down those vrittis, and we have to focus ourselves inside. So that is what we have to achieve ultimately. So initially what we have to do? We have to initially curve our gross extroversions and bring ourselves somewhere composed inside. So that's why he has told Kriya Yoga, and Kriya Yoga helps you to bring in this, at least the initial stages. So what is Kriya Yoga? We'll go into details of it. Now, if we see the word Kriya, it is just simply action. And yoga is, of course, we know. So there is a minor difference between Kriya and Karma. Many of the times it is replaced by the words are replaced, interchanged. But there is a minor difference. When we do Karma, there is some amount of thinking, some amount of intellect attached to it, and then we are doing something. So, if we translate it into English, both will come to action only. But there the action is thought upon and done. What happens in Kriya is that it is like it becomes a reflex thing. So once we have done a karma, we have thought about it a lot, everything, and then now we are putting it into our daily routine practice. So when it becomes a daily routine, then we can call it a Kriya. Wherein, while doing that practice, we are not thinking every time that am I doing the right thing or is this the perfect procedure? No, it becomes a daily practice. Now, for instance, if I have to travel from say Dadar to here, and I have to catch a particular train. So if I have to catch a slow train or fast train, if I am traveling for the first time, I will think over it. I have to reach the office by 9 o'clock, so I shall catch this fast train, so I will reach fast. Or the second day I may think that no, it is better that I go by a slow train, so that I have space to sit, read something, and then reach office. So this is for the first few days we will think over it and then finalize a thing that ultimately we will decide, no, I have to come on the station at 8:50, I have to go on the fast track, whichever train comes, I have to hit it and catch it and reach the office. This comes after that analysis and study of what we do initially, that karma work. So then it becomes a Kriya. Then later on, after 1 month, 2 months, we are not thinking about anything. We just put on our shoes, we are directly on the fast track, we catch up the train, we don't have other thoughts, we don't have alterations in the thoughts. So then it becomes a Kriya. So when it comes to a daily routine action, then we can call it a Kriya. And similarly is what is expected by Kriya. It has to become a daily routine activity. So if we hear about Kriya or whatever the ancient saints have said, Kriya is an instrument through which human evolution can be quickened. The ancient yogis discovered that the secret of cosmic consciousness is intimately linked with brief mastery. This is India's unique and deathless contribution to the world's treasury of knowledge. If you have read the autobiography of a yogi, Swami Shri Yukteswar has made this statement over there. See, these words are important over here. Instrument, quicken. So it is a tool that we are using to fasten up our lives. And of course, we know meditation and breathe concentration, breathe awareness and all these things. This is what India has offered to the world. Now again, now we have come to the concept of Kriya. Earlier I talked about the goal of Patanjali, how he has put it scientifically. Now when Patanjali introduces a new concept, he also tells what are the benefits of that concept and what for are we using that thing. So here Kriya Yoga is for what? In the second verse itself, he tells that it is for Samadhi Bhavanartha and Klesh Tankarana. Now I will be talking on details of these things also because Patanjali has a very nice style. While talking about the thing, he will introduce a new concept and then he will elaborate upon it. Again, while talking about the next thing, he will introduce a new thing and then he will elaborate upon it. It's the beauty of his writing. And similarly, we will also go through in that fashion only. Now, as we have last time also heard that Samadhi is the ultimate achievement that one has to achieve through yoga. So, for this achievement of Samadhi, of course, Kriya Yoga is useful. As I have told, it comes prior to Ashtanga Yoga. So, the initial initiation would be through Kriya Yoga. Then the person will go into Ashtanga Yoga. And of course, Ashtanga Yoga ends ultimately with Samadhi. So, Samadhi Bhavanartha. So, here the word Bhavanartha is important. He is not saying that you will get Samadhi. But you will get the bhavana of samadhi, means you will be going in the direction of samadhi. You will get that road which will lead you to a particular destination, which is expected. And then what are these?